Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, is brought to you by Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. Clamp Tight, the clamp making tool. And by RockAuto.com, all the parts your car will ever need.
Well, we have some awesome sponsors. Welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com. Well, Dave did the dirty work here. He got it all off, and take a look inside of that hose, man. You can see that seal's actually broken right there. He was talking about that hose seal and how it actually works, kind of like a garden hose. Well, there it is. You can look right inside of there. There's our culprit. There's the leak. Now, how's a coolant system actually work? Well, I got it right here. You can actually look at this. Now, this would be your cylinder, and inside is your piston. So that's going up and down, firing. Thermodynamics, my friend. Heat travels from a place from heat to less heat. So what's happening, I get that hot, that's submersed in coolant, bam, you fire, the heat jumps off into the coolant and takes a ride. Takes a ride where? We'll take a look right here. Here we go. We come out of the cylinders. We're going to come up through a thermostat. I'll actually fire it up so you can see it. As we come up through the thermostat, we come over here to the radiator, and inside of the radiator, we're actually going to cool it. Once again, 220, 230 coming into the radiator, outside air, 80 degrees, bam, jumping off. Hot's coming from the engine, going to the outside air, and we're getting rid of it. We're returning a little bit cooler antifreeze or coolant down here in the bottom. So that's how a coolant system works. Now, to diagnose a coolant system, man, there's all kinds of tricks. What we want to do is do a pressure test. And we can do a pressure test here in a second, but here's a tip for you. When you pop your hood, look at your overflow bottle. A lot of them are clear, not like this one. And sometimes when they're empty, you can determine there's probably a leak, or maybe it's full. You may have an electrical problem. You may have a coolant fan that's not operating or something along those lines. But if it's empty, you want to check for a leak, and a pressure tester is the way to do it. We went to RockAuto.com and got this pressure tester right here. We hook it up, pump it up to the cap pressure, and you're going to pressurize the system. Then what do you want to do? Well, you want to look for a couple leaks. You can have an internal leak in the engine or an external. Now, your external leak, just visually take a look around like ours. You'll see it pouring out. Go and repair and fix it. Now, if it's an internal leak, oh boy, now you got a problem. We're talking about head gaskets bleeding by, intake manifolds, something going on inside the engine. One other trick for you. You may want to look inside the car on the carpet. That's right. You got a heater core inside of there. That could leak as well. So run that pressure test and you can see what's going on. Also, you want to take care of your vehicle, and that's what coolant maintenance is so important. Now take a look at this water pump right here. You can see these fins now, these vertical fins. They're all right there. And then what happens is it spins around. And when it spins around, it's moving the coolant through that engine just like you've seen. And it comes up through the radiator and it goes back down. Now you can see that right there. Check this one out. This one here almost got us at Tech Garage. This one's totally missing the fins, and that's a huge problem. It's actually cutting through the coolant, and it wasn't pumping at all. So when you do any kind of job, make sure you replace the thermostat. That's just as important, no matter any time your engine overheats. That keeps the water in the block, keeps it up to operating temperature, so you can go into that open-close loop so you get good efficiency. Make sure you replace the thermostat, make sure you use good coolant, keep your coolant system in tip-top shape, and you won't have a failure. Well, speaking of failures, I'm not talking about Josh or Dave. They're doing a great job. Let's check in with them.
All right, Johnny, we've got a hose just like the one you've got there, and you can see this is the end with a traditional hose clamp. You can use that kind of clamp. You can also go to Clamp Tight and you get one that seals all the way around. Those are really, really good system there. And over on this end, this is more like the garden hose type end where the seal is on the inside. And Josh, is there any secret to connecting this?
Just make sure it clips, because with that new seal in there, it can be pretty tight. And it's good because you want a good mating surface.
So do we want to do this end first?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that first.
Okay.
Just that way we have a little bit more wiggle room getting the other side on to be good to go.
All right, we're going to get this thing on here and we're going to test it. But first, we're going to have a little bit of Garage Ed coming up in the next segment. So stay tuned to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com. I love working here at Tech Garage with my partner, John Gardner. I also love bringing you the coolest products from the automotive world on Motorhead Garage every Sunday morning at 8:30.
Yeah, buddy, I'm tuned in. I hope you do too. Set your DVRs, the coolest products, the coolest vehicles, and of course, the coolest people. It's automotive people. Motorhead Garage is a win-win. You can't beat that show.